Good morning, folks. I want you to notice this image here in the time stick, right? Mimic is hiding data, right? Because I was on here marking my map for that very moment, in that 23 hour. Let me pull some of these up. On the 23 hour, that means this is what should have showed, right? You have a ship here and here. I can show better with this one. Right, I marked the map. Blue is ships, red is beams, green is flow. And white is just pointing at a location where the intersection of two cones has happened. I shot a big beam down here. It's going to influence the river of moisture and it's turned a lot of stuff towards far north Queensland and Brisbane North, basically. Just right along this line right about here. See that angle coming through? And this is the rain line for the storms. That Woodford Festival can expect 4 to 5 centimeters today. All this is coming your way. I was right. I've been waiting on a beam to show it. So you see this triangle right here. I'm gonna just get my pen out and just mark this one. And so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm talking as loud as I'm gonna. It's 1 o'clock. Actually, it's 2:30 in the morning. Right. If I'm gonna do this in white. If you look right here, you got a cone, right? And it's got a lot of moisture. The ripples of the EMF will start pushing this forward. A serpentine action, like how you can move a ball along a line by just undulating it, right? Or how a snake can move. Undulations that can cause force and flow of the animal itself. We had another one come down here. Another one came up here. Intersection line there, right? All this is common. The secondary line here. This is the trap line right through here. That's where all the water is going to come in a couple days. So you guys got a lot of action coming. It's all because of the EMF beams. And without me getting up this morning and seeing that, I would not have been able to do the determining that I'm going to do now. Right? Because it requires data. Oh, I hope I didn't close this up. Because when Mimic is lying, like there's the 23, the image has been changed. Right? That image is changed. And then they went this. Right, where that whole area is gone, and the whole world's Mimic looking like this as they hide their guilt, as they doctor the data. Right, it's what I say. It's all up to the beams, and once I see the beams, I know if I'm right or wrong. And that's a big edit. That's an edit. That's the L. Rothschild effect, where they just edit the data, and they'll tell you it was a solar storm or something, but in reality, they're beaming up the weather. And so now I'm going to go through what's to be expected. I'm not going to make this too long. I'll give you your 24-hour totals for a few of your areas are going to be rather high. If I look at ECMW is going to be the initial. These areas here, like I said, that line that EMF drew over there about Tweeds area, Crabs Creek in here is going to pin the moisture mostly north. Of course, you're going to get a little fall down south, but it's nothing like some of these people going to catch through here. Over 2 centimeters common here, and that's a little over a 24-hour period. That's actually coming. That's about right. And we go over toward Ruchi and all this up here, man. 5 and 6 centimeters coming between now and well, this is about 4 a.m. on Tuesday morning. Harvey Baying him in the wets, and then I don't like to see this at all. So I'm gonna move the slider a little bit. As this starts to move north, we start to hit the Capricorn coast, starts getting some fair totals, and these are all fest totals either. If I do the whole lineup, you go, oh my God, what's going on here? What in the hell is this one? Hey, this is a scary graphic, and it's very possible because a whole lot of water has been turned your way through those flow lines that I drew. If I draw these maps here, right, like this, then we can get them to load up, right? If I load a map like this, and I start to see totals matching what I'm expecting of all this water that's in these squares here, it is a lot of the world's water in this one spot here that's on my map. Yes, a mount. And this is diving down. This one up here, where my hand is, should go that direction. This here is funneling through these gaps here. Right between this island and here is where the suction was set up, the Venturi effect to pull this down. Now, unfortunately, I can't show that because Mimic has decided to hide the guilt of the beams that are being deployed around the planet that are visible in the condensatable, precipitable moisture, right? And this is precipitable moisture. See other beams down here. There's a lot of manipulations going on in the tropical belts of water, or the river of moistures, as I often call them. And they're splitting these into tendrils, and that's bad news. New Zealand, you got a low that's going to hang out and eventually get sucked back through to a low that has to form over here and then come back around and get you again. So you got a bit of a soggy time coming for you guys, a bit of a soggy time, because they're using their devices. It's obvious where the ships are located. Even see side beams coming from her sometimes. Second one here. See that there? Yeah, these the ships at sea that I suspect are not the big platforms like you would think. Chinese spy ships. No. I show you these images here. You've probably seen some of these before, like this one right here, like that, with all these dishes and domes, and there'll be lasers on here and whatnot. So this is as big of a station. It's about half the size of ours. And when you put about 4 or 5 of these out at sea, it's a different ship altogether, right? That'll be for defense probably, right? Because this is military stuff. And we look through these maps. This is what I do. This is what I do. And so when I suspect that these ships operate in these areas, you know, I'm not kidding about. I'm not kidding about. And they got big radar domes and all sorts of them. And that's a different one. See? Oh no, it's got 2 of the dishes pointed straight up and 2 of them aimed somewhere. So this can create pull the potential of the upper atmosphere down as far as electrics go. That can be, they'll go into the duct of the force of these beams coming out. That's like Death Star type stuff, isn't it? Boom. Yep, not good. Got it. Good at all. So I do see evidence of ships, definitely, in this image here that I pulled up and marked. Definitely see where they're aiming. So, and they're not always showing up on Ship Tracker. Actually, usually military ones don't. Another line coming down here I didn't mark. For Queensland, for parts of the Northern Territory, Western Australia, got a trap set here. That's the line right here. Follow the fingertips that I've got on this. Right. Hope you can hear me okay. Yeah, I'm doing the best I can. So what's next is, like I said, I'm getting too upset. I'm not happy to see totals like this showing inland. And remember, if the wind is blowing, you hear more. You hear more because it blows. And we're narrowing this down to a certain period of time, right? And so you're in imminent danger in this Penis Insula over here. And Rocky ain't going to fare well, and this river's going to run white. And so take your preparation time now. Better to be prepared and have your stuff. And then it could go blaming the BOM. Excuse me a minute, I'm having trouble with my mouse zooming in and out. As these tendrils come in off the sea over these next 3 days. You have to be very vigilant. Very, very, very vigilant. Okay? New Zealand, like I said, your 10-day totals are mostly going to come about here. What this low is going to do a dance over you. So you got some decent rains at least to fill stuff up. A couple of them are going to come real heavy batches. Today I'm absolutely expecting flash flooding to places north of Brisbane, as these tendrils that are working their way ashore today have their influence on today's totals. Yep, today's totals. I wasn't 100% sure about something. Yes, I didn't do a live. I was waiting on the beams, and if I didn't get up when I did, I would not have seen that, and I needed that. So, if we don't get good information, like we're told cows fart. Cows burp. Their stomachs ain't set up for that. Very minimal methane comes out their ass. They burp their methane, and even then it's very minimal because of the amount of the way they digest it. We just automatically assume because a noise comes out, it's a little fart like ours. It isn't. And so that was very nicely corrected by some of my cattle people. Thank you very much for that. Big love, Boo, for teaching us something. Right? Thank you. Because I bet that irritates the hell out of him because he has cows. Or you, who might have cows. And you know these things, and you're watching people fall for the wrong impression again because our oppressors don't correct that. It's very minimal. I went and fact checked it so I can understand it. Yeah, their tummies work different, man. So to be able to light a cow's fart on fire is fairly unlikely. And so, Greta, I hope they teach you that at uni. They didn't teach me that at uni. Though they taught us that having no symptoms meant you were healthy and okay. And asymptomatic means that. And so people fell for that too. They just did. Here's the dancing moment for New Zealand, and I am concerned. This should come down here. It should come right on down to the shell. And it dances with this one here, and the suction through Cook Strait is going to go flow this direction, and when it does, it's going to increase the earthquake risk right around New Plymouth. Yeah, I got that one off Gisborne the other day. I could see the beams. They were tolling it. So that's when I elevated your wrist. You see that low hangs around. It really, really just absolutely screws your entire weekend as we head into Christmas Day. For you guys here, it would be right about here. Ho, 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 Santa's coming. Santa's just coming. Santa's just coming. And the kids be looking forward to this whole year. So if we can do our best not to ruin it for them and let them have at least 1 year of childhood, that would be great. Yeah. Even this truther here will shut his mouth, not talk about Satan Claus and Krampus. Krampus was in the new Christmas movie with The Rock in it. I watched it last night. It was very good. I was laughing my head off, actually. It's one of the best Christmas movies I've ever seen. All right, as we head in towards the New Year's, you get some wetnesses. Let's see, what flight pattern should be taken. Here's where I start looking at the weather and going, right, which way they're going to take them? Look at this high pressures. This is winter time at high altitude places with a 1040. Or is this the Gobi Desert? No, that's the steppes. Yeah, this is off for the high pressure for winter time with a 1055. Think they're beaming something? Think they're planning on moving moisture? When you get a high air, man, it's going to push stuff over the North Pole and out the other side. It does. A move like that there will shove stuff up here, where a beam up here is aiming it into America, which causes this wintertime action here, which could set them up for a New Year's blizzard in through some of these areas of the Rockies and the Yukon of Canada. That's what that move does. When I'm just looking at pressures now, right, and doing my determinant. People that say all I do is read windy. Nah, all you do is read windy. That is an extremely low pressure storm. That is a devastator. And it's coming up. It should come in and around like this. So we're going to watch this like a hawk. Boy, does it have a tendency to pull some stuff up with it. Right? This will be a little warmer than that there. Okay, so the dynamics for a blizzard with this is absolutely, that's going to happen. I wouldn't want these boats out here to be caught out on New Year's and stuff. So you got to be very careful. Yeah, all my crab hunters out here, and I'm not talking the ones that are going to the pub looking to catch crabs. So we're going to let this run through a little more. I'm going to zoom it more towards here. And I'm going to have it on axis because EC is just not matching up with what I'm seeing in the clouds or what that beam should do. Right, because I've seen enough beams to know where I can actually mark a map for you guys. And trying to teach you what I think about when I do a forecast. Yeah, as I don't know how to teach you to do this, but I can tell you what I think about. Sometimes my mind wanders. I'm thinking silly songs. You see that Tassie coming over the top of you through Tuesday? It's a fair dip too, so she's gonna bring some cold air up with her. That's my pen, my marking pen making a noise. Yeah. Not good, man. I just hate coming on here every day and having to say these kind of things. And when I know there's an imminent disaster coming, I get very depressed. I do, because I've been describing this for so long to people. You're screaming, you know, there's a wolf, and no one believes you. And then they blame the eating of the wolf on an imaginary thing. It's the chupacabra or something, you know, it's mythical. Rather than blaming the man with the knife in his hand and the blood on his shoes. Blood on their shoes. Blood on their hands. Yeah, geoengineering is weaponized warfare. It's being used to bring an agenda about, and the weapon is the people of the planet who are innocent and done no wrong. You were declared enemies when buildings were imploded on themselves on 9/11, and they said people did it. We don't know who the enemy is. The enemy's everywhere, so it's all the people. And suddenly, you're a criminal in advance, and you ain't done nothing wrong. You ain't done nothing wrong. So that's really pretty much what's going to happen. Okay, and the totals are disgusting, disgusting to see, disgusting to see. And these are your tens, right? It didn't change much. Didn't change much. So your event is imminent, and it's coming, and it's in a swath. A lot of moisture is coming from the west to meet the stuff that's in the east, and it's being tracked over right now by a radar over here. I'm in Hughenden. Hughenden is doing something. It's panning in this direction. It's made a notch. Here, I'll show you. Right here. Let me do that markup thing for you. Right, this thing is actually do what I call makes a notch. Right, you see these gaps right here. That gap, that gap, that gap. Well, moisture is sitting in a little groove here, and they rotate it. They sling it. They sling it to the next, and what it's been doing is sending stuff up north of itself in towards the coast. So if you look at this here, you watch the rotation of the radar itself. Look how the pan is moving. Just relax your eyes. You let it go past a few times. I put it on the 6 hour when I do it usually, so you can see what direction is it cycling the water. It's made a flow line that it can scoop, and it's scooping that way. And I watched it for about half an hour to pick up the pattern of how that radar was influencing things. The radar over here is absolutely in Taroom is creating a flow corridor that's forcing this more towards the north. Yeah, it's a very strange storm system. Grafton has assured that it comes in this direction, and those beams out to sea that I showed assured which flow lines the tendrils are going to be cut and go. Okay, it assured it. When I looked on Worldview, you could just start to see the V of this here being actually influencing the clouds. So when they tell you it's a glitch, don't. No, the glitch actually influenced the clouds, right? And they're pointing right at that spot, right there. And the other one has not really nucleated much yet. That would have been down in that direction. You see where the flows have been set up. You can see what Grafton did. You can see what that radar did. You can see that this is coming that way. You can see the corridors of flow. You can see the EMF right here. See the big square? The big scalar square right here? See the V's? This is flow control. And that flow there is letting stuff that direction. Okay? Know that. This is just how that fucking works. Boy, that's a lot of chemtrails there. Look at all the bombs. What a disgusting thing to see. To have to show you guys day in and day out. Such a devilish looking cloud there. Very devilish. I heard of deviled eggs, but deviled sky? Oh, come on. Look at the chemtrails here, Hawks Bay. Holy mother of pearl. Look at that bomb right there. Look at it. Can you get more obvious? Do I have to mark this? I will. That right there. The. That's a very typical deployment. Another biome here, streaming off these things with pellets in the center of them. Pellets, they're fizzing off some. I don't think this is all silver iodine or dry ice. The price of silver if they did this much spray and it was all silver iodide. Why isn't that mentioned in the Paris Agreement when they talk about chemicals? And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Geoengineering governance document. Let's just have that. Is this the one by Mr. Birds? Is this the big PDF that we need? Yes, I want to pull this up now. Alright, this is the Paris Agreement, and I'm just going to go straight into page 13. Right here at the bottom, you're going to see the following words. Potential delivery vehicles for stratospheric aerosols, sulfur dioxide. They don't say silver iodide. Where does that say that? And let me go down here and read this one here, where it talks about the injection sulfuric gas will condense onto, right, sulfuric acid gas onto pre-existing aerosol particles, right, pre-existing. So they have to put something in the sky for it to condensate on, right? You know, we go over here to this other document, by Philip Rash, a testimony in the U.S. House Committee on Science and Technology. This meeting was held in December of 2009, and its data was published on February 4, 2010. What I want you to notice is this paragraph right here, where it says, there have been suggestions of injecting preformed particles of other chemicals, like titanium oxide. Where is the silver iodide listed? It's all that comes out their mouth, like a farts they tell us comes out of cow's ass, or that it healthy means that you're sick. You know, this world is sick. When we allow them to censor our data, which was obvious because I screenshotted it, right? The 23 and the 23. And I've got the beams there. I've got them. And it's a different picture they put up. And then they blanked out the whole feed because they don't want you to see what's going on. Because we're ruled by people that don't want you to see. Nazis. Do as they say, not as they do. Don't point up what they see. Nazis. And I've had enough. Censorship sucks. Take information into your own hands. Big love. Stay safe. Peace. Yeah, mongrels.